Hello everyone, I'm Juan, I'm from Spain, I'm 21 years old. I came here to Dubai three months ago, and 2 months ago I met Kian in a networking event. So, and he was explaining me about his project, and I fell in love. So I tried to join to the project, and he hired me as a CFO of the company. So Kian, can you introduce you a bit of yourself? Who are you?
Thank you. I'm Kian, the founder and CEO of Exlumina. Here in Dubai right now to raise the funding for a startup. We originally came from Hamburg, Germany, going international. And here with my CFO, newly joined here in Dubai, we're recording the first podcast session now about Exlumina, telling you about a little bit what we're trying to do, what our mission is, how we're trying to execute it and everything. And yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you many questions, so you have to be able to answer everything, okay?
Absolutely, no problem.
Why did you create a space startup and not another kind of startup?
Okay, that's a long answer. I try to keep it short. Exlumina initially started as a research project in a student competition, where the plan was just to shoot a rocket into space and land it again, and there wasn't an intent to do a startup. But then after around a year, because I always wanted to start a startup since I'm like 14 years old, but in Germany you need to be 18 years old to start a company. So I always was brainstorming, what should I do? What idea should I pursue? And I had this project Exlumina, like 6 months before I turned 18. I thought, wait, how cool would it be if I actually tried to do a space startup? Like out of the research project, because the name Exlumina already existed, and the logo and the branding and everything. I even have it here on my phone on the back side, everything. So we have even the t-shirts here. Look, the Exlumina Delta here and you too. So Exlumina was already a brand with all the social media channels in here and there. So I thought, okay, why not make a startup out of it? And in the beginning, there wasn't really a business idea. There was just the idea, okay, let's do a little bit R&D and find out what we should do. And at the time, before incorporation, we had funding from our state university in Hamburg. So we tried out different things. We tried to develop propulsive landing technology. We do cloud seeding in the lab and all these kind of projects, from carbon fiber 3D printing and all these things to find out what should we do. And then the normal thing is how you build something like SpaceX is that you start with micro launchers, like shooting CubeSats into space, and then scaling up the system until you have like super heavy launchers like Starship. But this worked like 20 years ago, but now the CubeSat market or the small sat market is very saturated. So it wasn't really an option to enter because we have so much competition that raising funding in the first place and then growing actually as fast as we need to would be kind of difficult. So I thought, okay, there was once the idea, or in the 70s or something like that, it came, to use rockets as hypersonic transport vehicles, like the Concorde, but instead of 2 times the speed of sound, 25 times the speed of sound. So I thought, okay, how feasible is this to do? So I did all the math on this and tried out, okay, how could something like this work? And then I thought, okay, this system would be a great option as like the first phase to enter to build like a real working space startup, like the SpaceX scale kind of thing, to build like the point-to-point system. SpaceX called it Earth-to-Earth for the BFR, but no Starship. So this was the idea how we pivoted into the system. Okay, let's build this point-to-point system. And that's why we are now also raising the venture capital for it, the funding for it. Also, we seeking for government grants and these kind of things, and also private funding, everything. And that's why I also flew into Dubai to raise the funding here. So that's basically the main moment why Exlumina happened, because it wasn't the idea as a startup in the first place. The startup thing came later. And now I need to say I love the startup journey. It's really, I love it. It's great. I can recommend it to everyone. Try to do a startup. Even if you fail, the experience you gain from the journey of building a startup is amazing.
Okay, nice answer. And what inspired you to create like project? Like some person, some project that you saw when you were young? What inspired you?
I think many people would easily knew it. It's obviously Elon Musk with SpaceX, but it's one particular moment where the entire idea was feasible in my mind. Because normally if someone tells you, hey, I want to do a space startup, it's like a massive threshold you need to reach until you can actually do that. It's like the highest level of entry at all kind of businesses you can pursue. So I thought, okay, it was the particular moment that kept me thinking about it's feasible is It was like 2018, I think. This was when Elon Musk shot the first Falcon Heavy into orbit with the Tesla Roadster on board. You know, the red Tesla Roadster, the red car? He shot it into orbit on the direction to Mars. And this particular moment, because normally only governments can pull such big projects. But SpaceX just shot a test into space. It's such a, it's such a fun thing to do. It's it's like the most unserious thing you could do. Why you shot a car to space? No one needs a car to space. But it's just so super cool that a single person has so much power to just say, okay, I shoot my car into space. You don't need to tell like NASA, okay, we need to do like this kind of measurement, this trajectory without any particular mission objective. Yeah, let's just do the Tesla into space. I mean, it was the first Tesla was the Falcon Heavy, but instead of concrete block, they put a Tesla into space. So it's just this particular moment kept me thinking since on and on and on for years till now that a single person just started a space startup and shot his Tesla to space. Yeah, how cool is that? So
you can be the second person who.
Yeah, I'm the second person. I will be the second person to do that.
You will.
Yeah.
Okay. In which moment of your life you started the startup? Like, how old were you?
I think I was like 15, like 14, 15, when I had the idea of Exlumina.
14, 15.
But at the time I had a different startup idea. Completely different, nothing to do with Exlumina. Exlumina was just a project at the time. And then I started it like the day after my 18th birthday.
Okay, we will talk about another business that you had in your life. Okay?
But that's the main
okay,
thing.
Please tell me briefly what is the main mission and vision of Exlumina? Vision and mission.
That's a long, I can speak very long for that, but I try to keep it short. It's going beyond the known.
The vision or mission?
Let me talk. The vision is making life multiplanetary, and the mission is to fund the entire thing is making any point on Earth reachable in under 30 minutes. Almost under 30 minutes. I think the longest flight would be like 34 minutes or something like that. But most places reach on Earth in under 30 minutes is the main mission we try to achieve within a decade from now. And make it commercially viable to actually fund a private or even government funded, whatever funded Mars mission, procured Mars mission.
Okay. And of course, according the rockets, that is the main thing of your startup. Which kind of technology are you going to use?
Oh, that's a long list. So there's some key technologies we need, otherwise it doesn't work. And one of them is propulsive landing technology. SpaceX actually isn't the first one who did this. It was also like, I think in the 80s or something. Even in Germany, the OHB was one of the first companies, I think, that did the propulsive landing, but low altitude. And SpaceX is the first one who landed an orbital rocket propulsively. So this is one of the key technologies we're developing right now. The system, mostly we reverse engineered from SpaceX, pretty similar to this. But now, I mean, if you saw the last NVIDIA keynote, they present like Omniverse and these kind of thing, virtual location to train neural networks. So now we tried it out with this tool and developing a propulsive landing technology. It's kind of really advanced. It's very, it's way more complex than many thought it would be. So also I am a drone pilot to build drones, so I thought it would be easily like a PID controller. If it goes to the right, go to the left easily. I thought it's like, okay, if the rocket tilts to this direction, the computer should put the TVC, the thrust vectoring, on the other direction. But it's significantly more complex than it is. But it's feasible to build. It's not impossible. It's just it's also not difficult. It's just a large amount of stuff you need to do to make it work. It's a lot of testing that goes into it, not only from a software perspective, but also the thrust vectoring needs to have a low latency and all these kind of things. And throttling needs to be precise. And all these things come together to make propulsive landing possible. It's one of the key technologies. Another one, because sustainability is a big deal. Everything needs to be as low as emission as possible. That's why we developed our own biofuel through carbon capturing, produced through carbon capturing, to have completely zero emission launches without any CO2. So we basically take the CO2 from the atmosphere, make it into fuel again, and then burn it again. So zero fuel emissions. And we're now aiming to scale that system up to actually perform a full-scale launch fully with biofuel.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, and about commercial transportation, what could be the impact of the another companies? For example, do you think that they are going to keep with the normal planes, or they are going to try to copy your project? What they are going to do? What will happen?
So when this rocket system first launched, it will be start at first class, and then it goes down to a business class, premium economy to economy. So we will first target like the big. At the beginning we only do cargo because we need to build a safety track record to actually send humans on board. It takes years to gain the safety track record to and all the certifications to send humans on board. So we would start with cargo. I think many things like you have like prime same delivery, but imagine prime delivery, but 30 minutes worldwide. Or I mean, here in Dubai, we have something called noon minutes. It's similar to
50 minutes. You can
they
get
get
whatever.
50 minutes, everything, but only in Dubai. But imagine this worldwide. Every point on Earth in under 30 minutes, you can deliver everything. And I think in the beginning, getting the technology is kind of difficult to copy it. It takes years to copy such a technology. But I think many people that would want to things get fast, that would take the rockets, and like FedEx or DHL or all these suppliers would then also buy rockets for these kind of things to make this work. Planes won't die because planes in the beginning will be still cheaper than a rocket because of the fuel consumption. In the later end, it will change when the quantity increases, like economy of scale. But in the beginning, cargo will mostly be for emergency transport things, or things that needs to be fast, and then it will go down cheaper and cheaper the larger it gets to having any retail transport, and then later on also transporting humans worldwide. For sure, if you transport humans, the G-forces are high on a plane. Obviously, it's a rocket, but they're not that high. So in a normal orbital rocket, you have around 4 Gs, 4 times the gravity on Earth. But in a point-to-point system, you can bring that even down, because most of the travel actually is in zero atmosphere. You fly above the atmosphere, above the carbon line. So you basically don't need to accelerate. You just basically fall with the Earth's rotation back to your location where you need to be. So we can lower the G-forces on that. But still, if you want to be most comfortable, probably in the first years you will take a plane. But then it's a difference. You want to have the 16-hour flight or a 30-minute flight. Yeah. So I would rather take an uncomfortable 30-minute flight that's maybe a little bit G-forces instead of you are like 16 hours in one tiny seat and like in some plane.
The time is worth it.
Yeah, the time is worth it. Even yes, absolutely.
Okay, and why that kind of companies, for example, Lufthansa, Iberia, Emirates Airlines, still didn't apply that technology? Why? If they have enough technology and money and funds to develop it, why?
So they have the funding. This technology sounds expensive, but not compared to planes. Like one plane is like $300 million around. So building one of the rockets is not much more expensive than building a plane. But mostly the airlines don't build things themselves. They only operate them. And we have only like 2 big plane manufacturers. It's Airbus and Boeing. And both of them gave up on supersonic travel since like the end of the Concorde, and they're only doing for military applications, supersonic jets. But that based on the information that's out there right now, they don't develop any hypersonic transport. And I don't know why. I think the reason why is that the demand is not there yet. There's no one who did this before that. There's no demand.
Maybe they
but
don't
the demand will. The demand will be created when the first launches will be happening, because people see, oh, this guy flies 30 minutes there. I want to do that also too.
Yeah. So you think that there is no one who wants to implement the technology? So
no, SpaceX develops it with the point-to-point. They call it Earth-to-Earth. We call it point-to-point because of copyright infringement. But Starship is amazing. I love it. What SpaceX does. I'm myself a SpaceX fan. SpaceX inspired me to start Exlumina. But Starship is oversized for the purpose of Earth-to-Earth. It's the right size for like Moon and Mars for interplanetary travel, but it's way too big for making Earth-to-Earth travel commercially viable, because you need to fit at least 1,000 people in it that you be competitive to a plane. But the biggest plane right now, the A380 by Airbus, with around 800 passengers, most airlines doesn't even get this plane full, and then now don't buy any jumbo jets. Even Airbus even discontinued the A380 because no airline wants it anymore because they can't get it full. So 1,000 people, it's 200 more than the A380, and for sure you ain't getting that full, so you ain't commercially viable. But if you build a rocket specifically for the purpose of the point-to-point system, you can scale it on a perfect... Like the most requested, I think the most bought long-range jet we have right now is like the A350, the Boeing Dreamliner. And they both have around 400 people capacity, if you max it out. So building a rocket that has up to 400 people capacity would be more suitable for the scale than the SpaceX Starship. But Starship is still great. I love it. It's the coolest rocket of all time. But it's perfect for interplanetary travel, not on orbital, but not for the Earth-to-Earth, because it's too big to be commercially viable.
Okay. And now coming back to Exlumina, tell us, like, if Exlumina, imagine that Exlumina is divided in 10 steps or 10 phases, like in which step or phase we are right now, currently?
Let me think. So we are still very early in the beginning. So we have some R&D done, we have some technologies developed here and there, but we're now mainly focused on raising our pre-seed round right now. To have the funding to do first, the legal stuff will be, I think, very expensive in the beginning because getting a permit launch license is kind of difficult. And then also the R&D, the entire development of the vehicle, building a manufacturing facility to build the rockets and everything. So we very early. Still, we're still raising pre-seed. We just I think we incorporated like 10 months ago in Germany, and now here in Dubai around a month ago. I say like second phase, because the first phase was before incorporation when we developed the smaller rockets, and then now in the second one we have already incorporated as a startup. Now raising the funding to build the big rockets. We're now aiming for building our proof of concept rocket, our technical demonstrator, which is around the scale of a rocket lab Electron. And the next one would be a rocket around the size of a Falcon 9, and then the next one would be obviously bigger than that. That's around the phases, yeah.
Okay. And right now I have a question many people would have as well. So do your close people, your familiars and your close friends believe in your product, in your startup and in you?
Now, absolutely. Now everyone I know believes that it works, that it will work and everything. But in the beginning, it was actually kind of difficult, especially explaining it to my parents. Because normally the thing is, after high school, you go to college and take a job or something. And then I go to my parents to say, yeah, I finished high school, I want to do a space startup. And I move into a city I never, without knowing anyone, let's move to Dubai.
So for your parents, it's okay, like to don't go to university and go to Dubai?
I needed to justify it.
Yeah,
my mom was
yourself,
easy to justify because she knew I had startup experience. Because when I was like 14, I was the first time like in a startup incubator, or kind of incubator. Startup teens at the time. It's like a mentoring program for teenagers to start a startup. So she knew I had like the basic know-how how to build a startup, and basically she did not know that I have any idea about rockets and anything. She knew I know about technology. I have a 3D printer and build stuff randomly all the time. My dad, that took a few more months until I think he's still not, so he 100% believes in me, but he's still not, I think he doesn't 100% understand what I'm trying to do exactly. Because it's very hard to explain. Imagine you're like, I'm not right now 18 years old. I incorporated Exlumina the day after my 18th birthday. My birthday was on the weekend. I needed to wait till Monday to go to the notary. But imagine goes to someone and say, oh, I'm finished with high school. I start a space startup with the highest level of entry in any business. And then after that, move to a different city to raise the funding without knowing anyone. So it's in the beginning difficult to explain, but now everyone understands and also believes that it will work, that the entire startup makes sense and everything. But to get this point, it took a few months to explain and show that it works.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Yeah, you are also my CFO. You need to believe in the project, otherwise you won't work in here.
Of course, that's why I joined, because I fell in love of the project, and for me, I like big things. So.
Yeah. But that's the great thing about if you have a very interesting startup like a space startup, is it's very easy to make friends, and it's very easy to build a network, because people will introduce you to people because they think, oh, that's the rocket guy who has a space startup. So it's very easy to network if you have a very, very cool project. But it's for all startups, relevant what you do. As soon as your idea is really interesting and it catches instantly, it hooks the person instantly, it's very easy to make friends, and also very influential friends, because people will introduce you to them.
Okay, according to this topic, since you are in Dubai, like how did your startup improve? Like you have met new people, you have new good people. So how, like right now it's Exlumina is something that before it didn't. So how did you improve your company and yourself?
Since the beginning till now is such a big difference. It's happened so insanely much. So in the beginning, when Exlumina started as a research project, we just built rockets and these kind of things. We had no idea about doing this as a business. And then after I incorporated everything, it increased exponentially. It was the first time also, I think, on national TV and in Germany, in Hamburg. And I met my mentor also, but I met him before I incorporated, and then after I incorporated, he introduced me to so many interesting and influential people and everything, so I'm very grateful for that. Also, I can really recommend for everyone else who wants to start a startup, try to get a mentor or find someone who will support you in what you're trying to do, because it's a really big help. It's a really big shortcut you can take if you have a mentor. We're very grateful that I found one. I also have here in Dubai, I met one. Some people maybe saw it on my social media. His name is Mek Kawi. I met him here in Dubai on a random networking event. And he now does the Mina Space Challenge, and I'm been also participating in it. So if you want to find out more, you can Google it. It's very nice. But yeah, it's since the beginning, even since incorporation till now, the journey of starting is such a because you grow as a person. The first time I was on stage, I was so insanely nervous to pitch my startup. I was so nervous, you can't even imagine. Like shaking the glass nervous, like being it was like, I think, I don't know how many people it was, like 100 or 200 people, I think, or I think more than this.
Where?
In Germany, I was the first time on stage. My mentor brought me on stage to pitch about my startup on a startup event, founders event, and I was super nervous in the beginning. I prepared like months ahead what I should say and everything. And then the journey from the first time you pitch in front and you're nervous to now, I mean, now I go on stage and I talk like a TV moderator. I'm now fully in it, like I moderate Formula One or something like that. I'm completely, so it's, you grow really as a person if you start a startup. So first you get more confident over time, because you need to be more confident, so you grow as a person. Especially if you talk in front of big crowds. In the beginning, it will feel very weird, but you will get used to it. It only feels nervous in the beginning and before it started, but as soon as you start to talk, everything gets easier. Because how should I say it? As soon as you're in the talk, in the flow, everything feels way easier. It's just the beginning, and also now if I go on TV, everything is easy, or I go on stage, everything is easy. And also from a skill perspective, you learn so much about. I mean, everyone who should wants to start a startup, you should go to a startup incubator, relevant which one the most are free anyways. Also equity free in the beginning. So I can really recommend you, because they give you all the mentoring. They're like the big ones, like Y-Combinator, Texas, but they have a very high level of entry there. But most of the local incubators would be best suited for you. I was in multiple incubators at the same time. It was a great experience, because you learn like every step of a startup, like how to develop the product. I mean, in space, it's a different game. Like building a rocket, no one will you meant to teach you how to build a rocket. You need to find it out for yourself. But from the business side, people will teach you, okay, how to do a financial model, how to do the proper marketing, how the entire plan, how to make a business plan, how to make a pitch deck, how to raise venture capital, what's safe notes, what's convertible notes, what's preferred shares or common shares. Like all these business kind of things you learn in the incubator. You can also learn it on YouTube per tutorials. I did everything at the same time. So I can really recommend everyone to do exactly that. And that's all the things you learn after you start a startup. Like most people don't know it upfront. I didn't know what a convertible note was until like months after I incorporated, and I learned it because people explained it to me. Okay, that's this and this and this, and I went to the incubators. Because obviously people take you more serious if you already have a legal entity than if you doesn't, if it's only idea. Because idea stage is a different game than actually fully incorporated company. So yeah, you learn a lot. Also from like human perspectives, how to talk to people, how to sell stuff, how to be confident in conversations. That's all the things you learn on the journey. So that's great. And also from a business perspective, how Exlumina especially grows since its beginning. Now we are an international corporation base already. We started in Germany, and now we already have LLC in Dubai. And it grows everything. I mean, for me, because I'm in it, for me it doesn't feel fast. But for everyone in the outside, because Exlumina is not even 1 year old. We celebrate the first year birthday on the 21st of August, and we're not even 1 year old, and we're already an international corporation. We have already in Dubai an LLC. So now maybe expanding also to Abu Dhabi and the other GCC states and everything. So and also in the US and everything. Because you need to be international to be successful. It's very difficult if you only stay local in one city. I mean, it's possible. Many people did it before, but it's way faster. It's not really easier, but it's way faster if you are international. Like, if you raise funding, don't stay in your tiny city. Go beyond the world, travel everywhere where there's money. Go there where the wealth is. I mean, I've flown to Dubai because everyone knows Dubai, capital of wealth. Here's so much money around. For sure, it's easier to raise funding here than in Germany, obviously. But still, how should I phrase it? try to expand fast, even if you not have the funding for it. Try to make friends worldwide. Don't stay local. Like I tried to make friends like on LinkedIn or even the Y-Combinator co-founder matching tools like Tinder for founders to find friends co-founders there. So try to make internet friends. Like friends are the most important thing. Network is the most important thing. So make friends and make friends worldwide, not only in your city. Because sometimes you meet a random guy on a random event, somewhere here in Dubai on a random networking event who manages the astronaut training in the US. So go there where the wealth is, where the people are, where the influential people are, and try to make as much friends as possible. And this will give you a big shortcut in life. Not only business, in general, in life and everything.
Yeah, and the perfect city to do it is Dubai, because in Dubai, like all the people is from another country. So
yes, it's easy. It's easy to network. It's very easy to network. I mean, we met randomly one guy in the metro.
Whoa!
And then later, he does. Okay, he builds a manufacturing facility. Okay, you can use part of the facility. It's so big, I don't even need everything. You can use it with it. So it's just the random things that happens if you're there where all the people are. So yes, if you come in the middle of the countryside, you should go in a big city. I mean, you don't necessarily need to go to Bay Area, because Bay Area are all the startups. There's a Y-Combinator Texas is there, everything. I mean, I lived also in Bay Area, sometime in Cupertino and San Jose. It's nice for business, because there's where the Silicon Valley started. But now it's worldwide things happen. I mean, Dubai is one hotspot, and Bay Area in the US, or even China's a different game, because China's like a different world, but they have like Shenzhen, Shanghai, like the big economic cities. But you need to find for yourself what is the best place to go next, because you don't stay forever in one place. You go worldwide and find things out, make friends, and do business.
Yeah, exactly, and do money, make money. Okay, I would like that you tell to the people the history that you had with the guy from SpaceX. Like, it was when you were developing the
that's a nice story.
So,
let me tell the story. That's a very, very funny story. So before I founded Exlumina as a startup, it was a research team. It was very early beginning, actually. We tried to land a model rocket. It was around a meter tall. We tried to land it propulsively again with its own engines. And it really didn't work. We tried a lot of things. We built our own PID controller. We used like a drone flight controller to make it work, and it didn't. So I was curious of how SpaceX did this, and if you Google it, they explain it too easily. It's not a good blueprint what's outside, because they didn't really patent the key parts. Because patents are just public blueprints where you can sue if someone takes them. But it's basically public blueprints, and SpaceX doesn't use them for these kind of confidential technologies. So I thought, okay, let's just DM as a direct message the CTO, the lead engineer of SpaceX at the time, and I looked on LinkedIn. Okay,
let's try.
I looked on LinkedIn. Who is the lead engineer of SpaceX? And I directly DM'd them. Hey, what's poppin'? How do you land your rockets? And then I didn't thought he would respond. I just thought, okay, let's give it a try. What should happen? And then like a few days later, I got a notification on my phone, and it was his. And he also wrote like, "Don't give up." And you can imagine what the motivation was, because if the lead engineer at the time of SpaceX believes that this works and wrote us, "Don't give up,"
work.
100% it will work. It will 100%. If the lead engineer of SpaceX believes that it works, it will work. Okay, it will work. So it was one of the biggest motivations in the beginning, because we nearly gave up on the trial of the landing technology, because we thought it was too difficult.
You were about to give up.
Not Exlumina, only the landing technology. We thought, okay, let's catch it with a drone in the air. We actually did it. That's on our Instagram. But it's not suitable for scale, because no drone can carry a few hundred tons. Only it works only in small scale. But we nearly stopped trying to do propulsive landing, because we trained a machine learning network to do it. I won't go into detail right now, because then we can't patent it ourselves. And IP, intellectual property, is like the biggest deal of valuation. We need to increase our valuation to raise funding. So I won't tell now how it works. But in the beginning, we didn't thought we could actually pull it off. And then the lead engineer texted us, and then I thought, okay, if he believes in us, for sure we can do it. And then we're still working on it. We still not finished. It still sometimes just falls down after it landed, sometimes, or it lands with too much velocity. And we now need to raise the funding anyways to do further flights, because we a little bit depleted our resources right now over the last like 10 months or something, since we stopped getting state university funding. But yes, that's like it's a funny story. I like it to flex on people with that. I mean, now it's not as fancy anymore because now I met so many influential people that now have way fancier stories than this one. But still, this was one of the first like cool stories to tell people. I can say, look, I texted with the lead engineer of SpaceX. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's a funny story. So if you think you want to DM someone and you don't think he will respond, just do it anyway. It works for me. It worked for me. So just try it. You have nothing to lose. It's just 5 seconds writing a message and then look at what's happening. But don't let it write by ChatGPT because ChatGPT sometimes says, I hope this email finds you well. And if someone sees that, I don't even read emails that says, I hope this email finds you well because it's ChatGPT and AI, it's just yapping around by AI. So if you want really to get attention, don't use ChatGPT or prompt it in that way that it doesn't seem like it's AI generated. Because if it's AI generated, maybe people think it's spam and just scroll over it.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, can you tell us about like since you started your entrepreneur life, like which kind of business have you developed in
businesses?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's a long story. So when I think
the kind of businesses like.
Oh, I had a very long list on businesses I tried out. I mean, so the first one was like when I was like 10 or 11. I had a YouTube channel and tried to do like affiliate marketing with Amazon. Obviously, it didn't work because I needed to verify my age. And as an 11-year-old, it's kind of difficult if you need to
11.
I think I was 11 at the time. And you need to be 18 years old to be in the affiliate program of Amazon, at least in Germany. Don't know how it's in other countries, but I think it's worldwide. So obviously it didn't work, but I still do it as for fun, a YouTube channel, and then after some time it got shut down because of age verification. I don't know, I got like a strike or something like that because I don't know why, but anything. I don't have it anymore, but now I have the Exlumina channel and my full time goes on that, but maybe I start a personal channel in the future. So that was one of the first trials of doing business. The second one was when I was 14 because then I joined the startup incubator, and when I was same time, I think like 14, 15, I started trying to start my first startup. It was when the NFT Bible was on its peak. Like NFTs was like the biggest hype at the time. I thought, okay, let's make an NFT startup. I won't say how it's called again because I didn't trademark it because of a particular reason. But yeah, it worked like for a year. We developed the entire product. We wanted to release it, but we needed to open a legal entity. And an LLC in Germany, it's quite different, but it's basically an LLC, and we wanted to open one. And the thing is, I was like 14, 15 at the time. In Germany, you need to be 18 years old to open an LLC. There are some ways around, but it didn't work for me particularly. For some people, it works, but for me, not because you can't be the director of the company that you want to found if you're under 18 in Germany at the moment right now. So I asked a friend of mine to open a legal entity, and obviously the typical Silicon Valley gossip happened, and he stole the company from me. Because I couldn't do legally anything against it because he was fully owner of the company. Because I thought I had 50% equity stake, but I didn't because I was underage and I just believed him without seeing the paper, the formal papers and everything. So this was like the first biggest fail I had in starting a startup. Because from a technology perspective, it worked. And also we had enough people on social media and everything. It could have worked if there wasn't this typical Silicon Valley gossip around. But it was still, looking back, it was a great experience to have because I rather get my company stolen so early that I doesn't lose anything, a big thing, as if I would lose Exlumina now or even later. Because now I'm very more careful with equity. And anyway, I don't give equity easy. You need to very hard negotiate with me to get any equity. Even as an investor, I rather prefer like safe notes over hard equity, obviously. So, and looking back, it was a great experience. And at the time, I hated it so. Oh my god, I hated this guy so much. And it was like my biggest enemy. Not now. It's like a super villain for me. So, but now everything is chill again. And obviously, he it didn't work out for him, the company. Since every time I see on LinkedIn something, I know it didn't work for him out because I still own all the IP. Also, what IP, I didn't patent anything, but I have still all the technologies and white papers and the drafts of everything. So, but now the NFT bubble has popped, so it's now useless, kinda. But funny thing, when we went in Dubai Mall, there was one store, in Dubai Mall.
We found one.
Yeah, we found an NFT store in Chinatown with the very similar idea that my startup has like 3-4 years before they built it. This store nearly opened, very freshly opened, didn't have any customers when we went in. It was completely new, and we went in and they asked him what you're trying to do. It was nearly the same idea I had, with the difference that I was one of the first NFT platforms that had fractional NFTs, but they didn't have fractional ones. I have like full, you need to own 100% of the NFT to get it. But 3 years later, someone else did it.
Yeah,
but it took 3 years, so it's still we were 3 years early. So it could have worked out at the time, but now it's too late. It's the time is over.
But
and
it was a shop that you could buy some
real world items with NFTs connected to it. Now it's normal, everyone has it. But now it's worldwide, these stores. Even in Germany, we have one. I think it's called Ape-In or something like that. You can get these apes NFTs with real world items connected to it. They're all over the world in any big city now. But at the time, it was one of the first ones that ever launched. And yeah, it didn't work out. Now it's too late. But now I have way cooler stuff. Now I do way cooler stuff. Exlumina is so much cooler than NFTs.
Yeah, of course.
It's such
Are you going to compare
insanely
NFTs
much cooler
with space?
Oh, space is so insanely much cooler than any NFT crypto kind of things by far.
No, we will launch NFT of Exlumina.
When the next NFT hype comes, for sure.
It could be a good idea to get funds.
Oh my god, but it's not. It's a little bit too late now. The trade is already. The bubble has popped. Maybe in the future it will happen again, but kind of different, obviously. But yeah, it's not the priority right now. Now it's everything focused on building Exlumina to a unicorn startup.
Investors and get funds.
Get investors and get the funding and build the big things. Absolutely.
Okay, according to what we are talking, like which kind of people have you met here in Dubai? Like, okay, don't tell names, but tell us.
No, I can't tell names because I don't know if they want me to tell the names because of confidentiality. But it's very big difference between the people I met. It's completely different types of character, different nationalities, everything completely different. Where should I begin? So when I first came here.
You met me?
Yeah, I was at one event. I think Ahmed is okay when I say it. I don't say it last time right now, but the founder of the event is called Asimov. I don't want to get it overcrowded right now, but it's a very great event. And I met this guy here, Juan, on this event. And the first experience was great. I loved that event. I loved the people that was there. I loved that everyone had a passion to do something. Everyone had like a purpose in life or something he wants to do, something like the energy, like the drive to do something. Most of the people that were on the event are now my friends. I have like all of them on WhatsApp right now. I always see them like nearly every day, one of them at least. And the nice thing about Dubai, especially in the founder scene, you have a lot of young founders here, a lot. And it's very easy and very, very cool to make friends here. Because you have most of the founders I met here so far were either in their 20s or 30s. They're not like in their 50s or 60s. Okay, some of them, but most of them I met so far were like 20 or 30s. So it's very easily, I mean, I'm 18 years old, you're 21, so it's very easy to make friends, everyone. It's because it's a pretty similar age group and also very similar interest. Everyone loves Dubai, is here. Dubai. In Germany, some people say Dubai, but it's actually Dubai. You pronounce the E, the last letter more stronger than the rest of them. So everyone here says Dubai, but in the rest of the world, they say it differently. But anyways, yes, it's nice to have so much founders and so many people on the same journey. Everyone comes to Dubai for money, particularly.
Yeah.
Either you want to get a job here, because many people come like from India, Pakistan, or Egypt and get a job
because
here.
Here there are more
opportunities, obviously. Yeah. But also, so many people, so many founders on the entire world come here to raise funding, to raise venture capital, because all the wealthy people are here. Obviously, there's so many Bugattis. I mean, last time, I was at the address and I saw a #1 license plate on the Bugatti Chiron. And I thought, okay, I'm just standing like 1 meter next to the. I made a picture, obviously, and sent it to my Instagram story and said, which color is your Bugatti? Or which license plate is on your Bugatti? That would be more suitable here in Dubai to say that. So here's a lot of wealthy people, and it's easy to network with wealthy people. Exactly. So you meet a lot of founders with the same. That's also nice. You meet a lot of people with the same problems as you. Many people come here and start to raise funding, and I try to find out how to raise funding. So you find a lot of people who do the same journey. So not exactly the same one, but a very similar path as you, because you also sometimes grow together. Even though you have completely two different startups, you sometimes find out, there's another startup incubator in like Emirates Towers or something like that, and then you tell them, and then he also inquires for that one, applies for that one. And there's like so many opportunities that happen, because so many people do the same thing. Like in Germany, I even though in my home city I have a particular, I would say a big network in my home city from founders, but most of the founders there are either like in their mid-40s or something like that. Very few. I mean, there are a few teenagers I know. Even two of my friends from Germany has a startup together, came here to Dubai to visit me and build a network here. So, but here you have even I think Bay Area is also the same. Most international cities are very similar in the founder scene. That many people come here to raise funding. I have the same problems, or just take very similar journeys, or in a very similar phase as you, just starting out, just started incorporating it, now raising like pre-seed or seed or something like that. So pre-seed and seed are like the funding rounds for a startup. If you don't know, you will learn it on the journey to build a startup, anyways. So many people here have take a very similar journey like you. If you go to these events like Asimov, there are so many founders there who also just started out, and we can share our experiences and everything, make very easy friends. So I like this spot, but it doesn't mean that Germany doesn't have it. Germany has it too. But it's a different scale, because obviously Dubai is bigger than Hamburg, my home city, so obviously you find more people here. Everything is bigger here. Everything. The city is bigger. The cars are bigger and more expensive. The buildings are bigger, way bigger.
The roads are
Burj Khalifa, the roads are like 10 lines or something like that. So everything is big. But it's not only Dubai, it's every big city has that. So the bigger the city, the more opportunities you get by default, obviously. If you live in the middle of I don't know, a sad village. I recently called Abu Dhabi a sad village because I drove there. There were so few buildings. There were like 3 skyscrapers or something like that. So I drove there and just thought, where are all the people? But obviously Abu Dhabi is also a great spot to do business, and especially if you want to get government funding. Abu Dhabi is very big, because Abu Dhabi is the capital emirate of the UAE. So it's very great to do also business there. I mean, I was last week on a weekend, I was in Abu Dhabi and made some friends and built a network there. And like all the wealth of the UAE, like the government wealth and Sheikh's wealth is most in Abu Dhabi. That's like where all the petroleum money was made. And then Dubai is like the real estate hub, because Dubai doesn't sells any petroleum. Dubai, most of the economic growth you have in Dubai is tourism and real estate.
Yes, that's true.
It's like a misconception that many people think Dubai has only skyscrapers because they have petroleum. But it doesn't have. Abu Dhabi is the petroleum hub of the UAE, and Abu Dhabi mostly funded the Dubai. But Dubai mainly drives real estate and tourism. That's why you have so many buildings and so many tall buildings. Also, the tallest building in the world here.
That's why the government is going to build the biggest airport in the world.
The Hamburg airport, the biggest in the world. That's why they do such giga projects, such terror projects, because that's the main income source. And Abu Dhabi is where the petroleum is. That's why if you go to Abu Dhabi, you find more of the original wealth that initiated the UAE as a civilization.
You will find more locals, because here you cannot find locals.
Finding local Emiratis in Dubai is hella difficult.
Yeah,
I think the only Emiratis I found so far is one Emirati at our event, but not a single one. And this was the founder. It's a single Emirati there, and Dubai Mall. But they're wearing Kandura. I'm not sure if all of them are Emirati. Only because you wear Kandura is the white robe that they wear here. It's very comfortable, actually. I love it. It's great. And even in the heat, it's way more comfortable than wearing a suit or something like that. Obviously, it's because of the heat. But yeah, it's hard to find Emiratis here. And in Abu Dhabi, obviously, it's way more, because most Emiratis live in Abu Dhabi, obviously. So yes, that's. But in Dubai, you find very international people. Like most of the friends I met here are either from the US or from Europe. So you find bigger spectrum of nationalities here in Dubai, obviously.
Okay, so I would like that you tell to the people who is starting with their own project and everything, like to the younger people, like you were 5 years or 4 years ago, like some advice, like to don't give up, to keep always believing in your project. Yeah, tell them some advice.
I can tell so much stuff. So first, don't give up too early. Or sometimes, many people say don't give up and always stay on one idea, but sometimes it's important to pivot your idea. Sometimes business ideas are just wrong. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and you believe too strongly. You should believe in you as a person, you as a company, you as a business, that you can succeed. But it doesn't necessarily mean that every business model you have in your mind will work. Sometimes it will just fail. So sometimes we need to pivot. I mean, Exlumina pivoted from its original idea to build like initially micro launches to, okay, let's do the point-to-point. Later we pivoted like half a year after we incorporated, we pivoted. So don't hold too strongly to one idea. Maybe it's wrong, but never give up to do a business. Never give up for the drive to do something. That's important because many people will say never give up. They always do the same. Always try to make your business idea work, but sometimes it's
sometimes it will not work.
Sometimes it's just a dumb idea. It's the truth. Most ideas just doesn't work. It's only very few ideas, but you find the right idea on your way. You can start a startup without knowing what to do if you have the drive to do it. And then if you build your network, you will find some problems on the way. I mean, like yesterday or the day before yesterday, I got a DM on LinkedIn of some guy who founded a startup where it's like a Tinder for co-founders, where you can find your co-founder. And you'll only find this way if you already started the journey of building a startup and you say, hey, why it's so difficult to find a co-founder? So many of these tools exist. That's not a new idea. That's already exists for I think since Y-Combinator has its own tool for that. But if you have the drive to do something, already start and then later on you can find a business model. Some people say it's a dumb idea to build a solution before you have the problem. But sometimes it's the right thing to do to build a business. And then on the journey, pivot to the business model that suits you the best. Because Exlumina had multiple business models at the beginning. We had cloud seeding, we had the point-to-point system, we developed, tried to go into orbit. We have from night to know carbon fiber 3D printing. We have so many projects at the same time. We didn't know which one of them will work out. So then on the journey of building a startup, we found out, okay, the point system is the best USP we have and the most venture backable of all of these ideas. So that's why we chose for this one. But when you start out and you have multiple ideas, just start out and try them out, sometimes even at the same time, and look what works the best, and then scale it from that out. That's one of the things. And the second one of them, friends will be the most important thing ever. Make friends, and make the more influential, the more wealthier the friends are, the easier it will be for you. So try to make wealthy and influential friends. Doesn't mean that you should kick out your old friends. You should still keep the friends important. But make friends, build your network, and that's one of the most important things.
Yeah, and also I wanted to tell you your future depends of the people that you are meeting right now.
Yes.
If you are meeting with nice people, sure that you are going to be the third one.
Absolutely, because you adapt a little bit of their character, of the people you are around. Because, now, since I'm in Dubai, I'm mostly surrounded by other founders or people that do business, or even like you, my team members. So now more deeply into character about this business thing. So you feel more like a founder. You are a founder, but more of your focus is on this thing. And you grow as a person because you learn so many things by the way, by people telling you, okay, this and this and this. I mean, just the friends I met here, the founders so far who went further than me, who are in Series A or B or C or whatever, who already have a few $1 million raised or something like that. And then they tell me things that are good to know. That's very important to have friends that are there where you want to be.
Okay. So that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you any questions?
I don't know.
That's all.
Give me some idea.
No, then let me tell some things. Follow us on all of our social media channels. We try to share our journey as much as possible. Show us what we're trying to do, how we do it, and everything. And we do have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. So if you don't want to miss anything, you can subscribe. And
tell the name, Exlumina.
It's Exlumina. Company is called Exlumina. For the people that ask why it's called Exlumina, the original name of Exlumina was Astra Exlumina, which means the stars shine. Obviously, because it's a space startup, the stars shine, so everything. But obviously, Astra is so much often copyrighted, trademarked, everything that we can use the name Astra in our name. So we just kept it only Exlumina. And we have it on our t-shirts. Also, you can buy merchandise on our website. Exlumina.space, not .com, .space. Go on Exlumina.space and then go into merchandise and buy these t-shirts. We have every type of merchandise and everything. So yes, for the people that ask why, that's the name Exlumina. I like the name. We have trademarked it, obviously, so no one else takes our name. It's a cool and unique. Also, the thing is, branding is very important as a startup. If you start out as a startup, branding will be very important. Have a unique name, but an easy name to remember, because if it's too difficult, people will just forget it. Yeah, that's some of the advice I also wanted to say. But yeah, that's mainly everything. So if you don't have anything to say.
No, just the same. If you have whatever question, whatever that you would like to know, just you can contact him or you can contact me. through Instagram, LinkedIn, or
Email,
wherever.
everything. WhatsApp.
Email. So we are open to answer the questions.
Also, if you're an investor and you want to invest in us, you can reach out. We have all our contacts are public. You can go on our website, linked and everything. Just text us, DM us directly. We looking for every type of investment. Irrelevant, it's from the US, UAE. Everyone that's not an enemy of the US, we take money from. Not a problem. Otherwise, we have problems with ITAR regulations because we use US technology and US IP, these kind of things. So, but if you're not in a US enemy, you don't have residency or citizenship in a US enemy state, we're open to do business with you. Just DM us directly. We always search for investors. Also, if you want to work for Exlumina, I mean, we don't have any funding, but as soon as we have funding, obviously we will recruit as many people as we need.
No, we will open the vacancies in LinkedIn, right?
Absolutely. So if you already want to apply now, before we have the funding, we have obviously easier choices to get in. I mean, you won't get paid until we get the funding, obviously, but we do like letter of intents and these kind of things that you get money as soon as we have some. So if you want to work for Exlumina, you want to take also it's obviously a risk if you start out with a company that doesn't have any funding right now, but it's the easiest chance to get in. That as soon as we raise the funding, you also have a job then, and you can build rockets, and that's like the coolest thing you can do. So if you want to work for Exlumina, just DM us directly on LinkedIn. Or
we will write our contact details in the description.
Yeah, you can also on YouTube. It's everything. You can have all of our accounts. So if you want to work for Exlumina, if you're irrelevant in what you're doing, you can be an engineer, you can do social media, you can develop the autopilot, whatever skill you have, we're looking for everything. If you're good as salesman, we need salesmen to sell our rockets to airlines and everything. So yes. So if you want to work for Exlumina, just reach out to us. If you're an investor, also reach out to us. If you're just interested, you can also reach out to us or something like that. If you want to buy something from us, obviously. If you're an airline, you want a rocket, or someone else want a rocket, just reach out. Everything. If you need IP, we have registered or something like that. We also license out patents on these kind of things. So don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Exactly.
So, and you don't have anything to say anymore? Nothing? Okay.
Nothing else.
And then
I'm
with
done.
that, I need to make the outro. So, nice that you watched till the end this podcast. It's a great journey to do a startup. It's a great journey to also share everything with you. So, like I always said, subscribe to everything. Don't forget the next episode on all of our content. And with that,
illuminating the cosmos and shaping a destiny written among the galaxies.
See you on the next episode.
Kian, it was a pleasure.
It was absolutely what a nice episode.
See you.
Absolutely. See you on the next episode.